It's another beautiful day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm glad that you could join me. Welcome. So, as you can see from the beginning there, looks like we got the tensioner bracket, assembly, tensioner all built. So let's see if we can't get into the barn and get this to maybe work. I mean, it'd be nice if it did. This is going to be fun. All right, we're up in the shop and here it is. Ooh, ah. So I just have this here right now working as a pivot. But if we look at it, this is where we'll push our foot and it's hitting along here. So we're gonna have to trim that, and then it's not quite hitting here and it's moving at, a good couple of inches, right? So yeah, so we're gonna have to trim this a little bit, and then the pulley is gonna sit higher than this nut I welded, but we're gonna wanna trim this thing off too, just so the pulley doesn't hit it. I mean, obviously, right? So let me make a few marks and get that lobbed off and get this cut off. All right, there we go. So cleared here and cleared that, and I mean, it should be plenty of clearance there. It's way low enough. And so I guess how it's gonna work is, you put your foot on here and it stops by hitting there, but I mean, it's moving. I mean, you can see it's moving 3-4 inches. So put your foot on it, boom, and then pull start. And that, I've got clearance here, so it's just butted up against there. So I guess let's get the pulley on and the belt back on here, and then I'll show you what I got figured out for a spring, because this might be controversial. All right, pulley and belt is on. The pulley's not tight, so it's kind of a little crooked, but I don't want to tighten it down until I figure out where I need everything for adjustment. But, so here's how it's going to work. The spring, right? If we put a spring in there, it's going to pull it out like that. And then when I push my foot on it, it'll release it, and it's hitting there, right? And, I mean, that's loose. So there should be no drag on that motor. So here's what I came up with for a spring. So I went everywhere looking for springs, and they were like 10-15 bucks for a spring that I thought was enough. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money, right? I wish I could find something at the scrapyard or, but I couldn't find anything. However, I kept digging around, just walking through stores, and I came up with this. So it's for, electric fence, but this spring in here is the same spring that was 15 bucks. And it's the same length. And this was only like $3, and we'll have a cool handle and like a hook thing. So let's take this apart and see if we can't make it work on that. All right, so it looks to me that I can either A, get a screwdriver in here and kind of pop this thing out, or B, we might be able to just jiggle it. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on out. And it is out. There we go. So, pull this thing out. Hey. There we go. So, there's our spring. That was a lot easier than I thought. And, well, now we can just, push this thing back in, and then we can return it. And no, don't do that. Don't do that. we got a cool handle anyways, so we can use that for something, right? And, you know, a metal hook, there's always uses. But also, if that's not strong enough, I have an old one, you know, that has a spring in it too, that we might be able to take apart also. But let's give this a shot. So this is, I measured it, and this is like the same size spring and everything is like the $15 spring. So see if we can't make this work. Alrighty, here's what I came up with. So I kind of straightened this end out a little bit, and this one I just kind of opened up and then I knocked that like pigtail off of it. So here's how it fits. Oh, other way. We'll need an instruction manual on how to do things on this. There we go. And here's the hole. So, like that. Push your foot on it, over. I mean, it'll, yeah, so that's where it needs to sit. So there's tension on the spring. So I guess all that's left to do now is, yeah, I think that'll be good. Maybe shoot a little paint on our bare metal spots. I have a lock nut for this one. And let's put the pulley on and just see how it works. All right, all back together. So I guess this is how it works. We're just going to push our foot like that and then pull start. Yeah, I mean, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I guess all that's left to do is to give it a try. I mean, yeah, give it a try. It felt a little loose to me, but I kind of checked the John Deere over there, and the John Deere has the same amount of tension. So I think it's going to work. If not, we can always pull that spring and bend it a little more to put some more tension on it, but it returns fine. So I say I'm going to go throw some boots on, safety first, and then let's see if we can't get this thing to start and, you know, mow. And then we'll worry about the brace or whatever. But let's just see if we can get this to work first. Boots. Check. Ugh. 6000 STE trail mower. Check. If it starts lifting up while we're pulling on it, I can always bring, you know, Ducky the three-wheeler over here for more safety, because nothing says safety like an 80s three-wheeler. Am I right? Yeah. So let's see if this thing will start and, well, mow or work. Let's give this a try. Well, it kind of worked. I think we need to do something about, well, it might need a stiffer spring. Well, let's go pull it up to the barn. We know, though, the concept will work. So let's go pull it up to the barn. I like to put a brace in it there. And, well, let's just see. Maybe it's because I was, like, feathering it with my foot. Maybe we should try it again. Okay, let me get the belt put on. We'll try this again. All right, belts back on. Round 2. Fight! All right. Yeah, that spring, I think we need a stiffer spring on there, but I have another spring. So let's get this up to the barn and see what we can do. All right, so we're back up in the shop, barn, whatever you want to call it. That was violent. All I could think of was that belt was saying, everyone look at the violence and head in the system. Everyone look at the violence and head in the system. I'm being repressed. I'm being repressed. And then it just yeeted itself. That was awesome. So I noticed though, when watching it, the motor's not flexing anymore. So I think maybe that flex is now being taken up by the tensioner, which would make sense. So yes, we probably need a stiffer spring on it, but how about if we brace it first just to make sure, and then try it again, right? I mean, the brace isn't going to hurt anything. It's only going to help. And I happen to have some more leftovers of the realtor sign or whatever for sale sign, whatever that thing was that we had. So how about we kind of measure this thing out and try putting a bar like from here to here and see if that doesn't help the situation out any. And then this kind of, now that it's broken in, I mean, it's like that spring loosened up almost. I don't know. So we'll probably have to tighten that spring or find a different one. But first things first, how about we brace up this motor and make sure that's not the problem. So here's my thoughts on this one. We'll just go up to here and then I'll cut this on the black line so we can weld it to this, like set it down onto it. So that way any of the force coming back will push against this bracket, which is welded to this side of the deck. So we pretty much brace the entire deck up. So let me get this whacked off and then clean that up, and we can just burn it there and burn it here, and I don't know why that won't work. I mean, right? Lord willing, it should work. And then we can take a look at the spring. But let's get that fabbed up first. Rear brace is on, and I said that ain't going anywhere. So that ain't going anywhere. But I was looking at this. I think I should probably tighten up that bolt. So let me get, it wasn't that loose, but it kind of worked its way, I guess. So let's tighten that up, throw the belt back on, and give this another shot. All right, so belt's on. However, it is pretty close to this. So I think we're going to want to kind of notch this out just to give it some wiggle room. And also I noticed, since tightening that, this doesn't flex anymore. But when we push it over and let it return by itself, it doesn't return all the way. It should return, I want it to return like there. So that spring kind of does the job since tightening that down. However, it's not pulling it quite far enough. So I'm thinking there's another hole over here. What if we put a bolt up into there and put the spring around that? So let's give that a try. There we go. Notch complete, and I still left some meat for strength. And then I just ran a bolt through there, right? And so if we look at it now, oh yeah, and boom. Comes right back to where we want it to. So I think all that's left to do is see if it works. Let's give this a try again. This is going to be fun. let's try that again, putting the belt back on. Third time's the charm. So third time definitely was the charm. That belt is still violent. So I think, I look down here, you can see the belt is definitely running high in the tensioner. You know, I can't get a finger there, but I can get a finger in here. So we probably need to adjust that. I don't know if that would cause it to kick like that. And it was slapping over here against that. However, it might be, I'm just thinking out of the box here. This is a 5/8 belt, and you can see how it fits in this pulley. Maybe we should try and get a 1/2" belt and see if it doesn't sit in there better and, you know, doesn't kick around. I don't know. I'm just kind of going for it, kind of figuring out, I don't know, just spitballing, right? So definitely we need to adjust that, and then we'll give it another shot and see if it doesn't slap so much. However, you know, that's the good news. I mean, we got it to work. The bad news is I'm out of time for this video. So I need to get this edited out to all my awesome subscribers. So until next time, you know, thanks for watching. And oh, don't forget, be blessed. Peace. It mowed. How much did it mow? It mowed that much, but it still mowed. Be blessed. Peace. Whoa.